The AI race has just hit a wall. Not a shortage of chips, not a lack of data, a power socket. On August 3rd, Texas ordered data center projects seeking access to its main grid to pass a new audit before moving forward. The reason was almost unbelievable. Requests for electricity had grown to more than 5 times the state's record peak demand. So how did the world's smartest software become too power hungry for the grid beneath it? And why are technology companies now being pushed to bring their own electricity? We imagine artificial intelligence living somewhere weightless, in the cloud. But the cloud is not a cloud. It is a building filled with thousands of processors, cooling pumps, batteries, transformers, and miles of cable. Every question you ask an AI model becomes physical work inside those machines. And when millions of people ask questions at the same time, the electricity demand becomes enormous. According to the International Energy Agency, a typical AI-focused data center can consume as much electricity as 100,000 households. The largest facilities now being built could use 20 times more. AI may appear digital, but its appetite is industrial. Texas has now become the clearest warning of what happens when that appetite grows faster than the grid. ERCOT, the operator of most of the Texas power system, was tracking roughly 474 gigawatts of proposed large electricity loads. About 90% were connected to data center projects. That does not mean every project will actually be built. Some may be duplicated, delayed, or never financed. But the queue reveals something important. Developers are planning AI infrastructure far faster than the power system was designed to expand. Texas therefore demanded answers. How much electricity will each project need? Will it pay for new infrastructure? And most importantly, will the data center provide some of its own power or expect the existing grid to carry the entire burden? Here is the real conflict. Technology moves on one clock. Electricity infrastructure moves on another. A company can order thousands of new AI processors and install them inside a data center relatively quickly. But a new transmission line can take 4 to 8 years. Substations must be designed. Permits must be approved. Transformers and cables must be manufactured. And wait times for some of those critical components have doubled in only 3 years. The International Energy Agency estimates that grid constraints could delay around 1 in 5 planned data center projects unless the problem is addressed. The AI industry is moving at software speed. The grid is moving at infrastructure speed. And those two clocks are now colliding. So, the largest technology companies are changing strategy. They are not literally replacing national electricity grids, but they are beginning to assemble private energy systems around their data centers. Dedicated substations, long-term electricity contracts, batteries, on-site generation, and direct investment in new power plants. Google signed an agreement intended to bring as much as 500 megawatts of power from advanced nuclear reactors onto American grids. Microsoft signed a long-term agreement supporting the restart of an 835 megawatt nuclear facility and says it has contracted for gigawatts of additional generation in another regional market. These companies are no longer simply buying electricity. They are helping decide which power technologies get financed, where new capacity is built, and which communities host it. The race to dominate AI is quietly transforming into a race to secure energy. But every new power plant, transmission line, and substation has a price. And that creates the most important question in this story. Who pays? Technology companies argue that data centers can create jobs, tax revenue, and investment in modern infrastructure. They can also finance new electricity generation that may strengthen the wider grid. But communities fear being left with the risks. More pressure on local power and water systems, new transmission corridors, noise, and infrastructure costs that could outlive the data center itself. That is why Texas is asking developers whether they are truly paying their own way. The conflict is not simply AI versus electricity. It is about how the cost, the risk, and the control are divided between private companies and the public systems everyone depends on. So why are AI companies building what looks like their own power grids? Because electricity is becoming the resource that determines how quickly AI can grow. The winners may not be the companies with only the best algorithms. They may be the companies that can secure processors, land, cooling, grid connections, and reliable power for decades. But this story has one final twist. Even when a data center finds enough electricity, it may still remain dark because of a single machine between the power plant and the servers. A machine so large, expensive, and difficult to build that some projects must wait years to receive one. That machine is the power transformer, and it may become the next hidden bottleneck in the AI race. Should an AI data center be allowed to connect to a public grid unless it brings new power with it? Tell us what you think, and subscribe to Factellix as we reveal the physical systems hiding behind artificial intelligence.